You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. And I think I've got it. I think I've got some intro music. Welcome back, Kathleen Garrito from the, what is it they call it, the Right Coast. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks, Ron, for having me on.
Glad to have you with us. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Got a lot to celebrate today. There's a lot of good stuff going on. Let's see what we're going to start with. I guess being that one of my wife's dearest friends, a friend of mine too, I guess I should say that, Kiss a Ginger Day. I know we don't do graphics for that, and we could probably get ourselves in trouble, but I'm not politically correct, and you already knew that, so otherwise you wouldn't have been tuning in. National Marzipan Day. I'm not exactly sure what marzipan is, but I think it has to do with cakes. Marzipan, that looks like potatoes. So I guess I really don't know what marzipan is. Let's see what it says about marzipan. A confection made primarily of sugar or honey, ground almonds. For anyone who does not know, it also sometimes augmented with almond oil or extract. Candy makers use this sweet confection to make a variety of sweets. Some of them include marzipan-filled chocolate, small replicas of fruit rolled into thin sheets and used as a glaze for icing cakes. That's what I thought it was. Okay, so marzipan, the picture that they gave us there, Josh, on the site, that doesn't look like, I don't know, does that look like candy and sweets and stuff like that? I don't know. I guess I don't know that stuff. Let's move right along and see what else we're going to celebrate. Curried Chicken Day. I don't know about this one either, just because, I'm a wimp. Spicy foods and me, they don't get along. So I'm going to say that probably curried chicken probably is not on the top of my list. Let's move right along and see what else is going on. Dow Jones Industrial Average now up 171 points. S&P 500 is up 7.51. NASDAQ is up 16.5. Oil is up $1.30 a barrel. Do we want to look? I'm gonna look at this just for fun and see about oil prices here and gasoline prices. The national average, $3.27 a gallon. We're at $4.42 here in the formerly Golden State. $4.42. Okay, Kathleen, I know why you're in Florida now, okay? Because Florida, they're paying $3.27 a gallon. So significantly better than we are here in the formerly Golden State. Josh is at $3.95. Jody's at $3.40. Brittany's at $3.17, and always the winner. Louisiana, Lori, $2.93 a gallon. Running around our team from our company, that's the areas that we're all in. Gas prices, that's the numbers that are going on right now. Yesterday, if you were watching our broadcast, I mentioned we were talking about headlines that can be misleading. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
So here's the issue of what I'm looking at when we're talking about misleading headlines. So I saw a message came across my desk just this morning. And the message read it was a headline that's coming out from Goldman Sachs. Now, Goldman Sachs they've got a pretty good reputation in the world of finance. They haven't been so great lately in some of their forecasting, but their headline, home prices to tumble over 25% from peak levels, let's see, in overheated markets. Now, do you know what overheated markets are? Do you know now? And do you think that would scare the daylights out of some people when they see that an institution the size of Goldman Sachs is saying that home prices to tumble 25% from the peak? Well, you got to read the article, and I'm looking at it, and you go down all the way down on the middle of on the page 2. Not even in the headlines. And now they get into metropolitan standard areas, MSAs. Do you know what that is? Do you know what an MSA is? Okay, a lot of people don't. So now, what areas are they forecasting? I'm looking at a chart for 2023 home price change forecast, and the areas that they put that they're expecting will have the highest rate of depreciation, prices going down. The highest one they have is Austin, Texas, right around 15 or 16%. Then they got San Francisco on there, about 13%, San Diego about 13%, Phoenix right in the same range. They're not talking about the entirety of the United States. They're just talking about small segments of the area. So the bottom line here is be careful of headlines. Now, we spoke yesterday about the forecast of what some of the biggest in our industry are saying about real estate. And I think we've got a chart for this one. And basically, if you watched us yesterday, and if you look at the chart right now, the best source on here that we have, in my opinion, is the Home Price Expectation Survey, HPES. And again, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing that the Home Price Expectation Survey says real estate values are forecast to increase by 2.6%. Now, Realtor.com, they're actually saying 5.4%. That would be Zillow for those of you that are watching. Zelman & Associates says negative 5.1%. But why do I like HPES? Well, it's simple. Because HPES, Home Price Expectation Survey, goes out and surveys over 100 economists around the country. These are people that are in academia. These are people that are in business like Goldman Sachs. These are the bankers. These are in the real estate industry. So they put all of these together and they come out and they say 2.6% when they average over 100 different forecasters. 2.6%. So maybe it would be a little more responsible for the quote from Goldman Sachs. Now, I'm just guessing that when I go back and I look at the actual data, it's from MarketWatch. Okay, so it's on MarketWatch's website, and it's not a quote, it's what their interpretation is, but you have to read down to find out what it really means. So be careful. And, I started doing this radio program back in 2010. Never been a money-making project for us. It's always been my goal, my desire to educate. And that's what we do here on Ron Siegel Radio. We're simply educating, and we're telling you what the media doesn't want you to know, what the industries don't want you to know. Why do I know that they don't want you to know it? Because they don't tell you, right? They want us, their job. I had this conversation with a publisher over Monday, I think it was, at lunch. And my comment was, what is the purpose of his publication? And I want to get great information out there. And I said, hogwash. The purpose is to sell advertising. Right? We don't sell much advertising on Ron Siegel Radio. Their purpose is to sell advertising. The content is simply to get somebody to see the ads. What is MarketWatch trying to do? Sell advertising. And if they can hype up some story, whether it's true or not, to get you to go to their pages, to get you to the advertising, they've accomplished their mission. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, is it time to sell your second home? 3 things you didn't know about FHA and a consumer alert. We're going to talk about a consumer alert with Kathleen Garrito. We're going to talk about what do you need to watch out for when you're dealing with doing a home remodel. We'll talk about all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. In the Mortgage Minute today, being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs, the products, all the solutions, You've got the phone. Make that call. Let's see what's going on in the market right now. The S&P 500 is now up 15.43. We're looking at the 10-year Treasury down 7 basis points. The mortgage-backed securities are up 20 basis points. Remember, that's the price of the bond. That means the interest rate is going down. That's what happens when the bonds always move. The yield or rate moves in the opposite direction of the bond. But let's take a look and see what OBMMI they tell us. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. 30-year conforming loans down yesterday to 6.239. 30-year jumbos down yesterday 6.273. 30-year FHA loans down yesterday 6.256. 30-year USDA, that's the best loan on the market for those that earned it, 6.21. I'm sorry, that's not the best loan. That's the 30-year USDA is the rural areas. Generally, those are with no down payment. The best loan is the 30-year VA loan, and that was up just a little bit yesterday at 6.057. All of that, and now we look and see, why did the market change? Why is it doing what it's doing? Well, as we mentioned yesterday, today we got the Consumer Price Index report, showed that overall inflation decreased by 0.1% year over year. Inflation declined from 7.1 to 6.5. Both of these figures were right in line with expectations. If you took the last 3 readings and extrapolated them over the next 12 months, the run rate would be 1.6%. Hello, Jerome Powell, do you hear that? The main focus is the core rate, which strips out food and energy prices. It increased by 0.3%, while year over year, the index decreased from 6% to 5.7%. Both of these were in line with estimates. If you took the last 3 readings and extrapolated them over the next 12 months, that would be 3%. Hello, Jerome Powell, did you hear that one? He keeps increasing the interest rates on the Fed fund rates because he wants to get these numbers down to around 2%. Here's the anomaly. In that report, the cost of shelter, that would be the roof over your head, rose by 0.8% and is now up 7.5% year over year. Does anybody believe that rents and real estate increased by 0.8% in the month of December? Does anybody believe that? Well, rent rose 0.8% last month and is now up 8.3% year over year, which is up from 7.9. Owner's equivalent rent, that's what I own my house and I think I can rent it for. Doesn't mean I know what I'm talking about, but that's what I think I can get for it. This tries to capture the rise in home prices, but does a poor job. Rose 0.8% and is up 7.5% year over year, up from 7.1. While the CPI shelter costs are still catching up and adding inflationary pressure, real shelter costs have been coming down because shelter makes up 39% of CPI. It was the main cause of the 0.3% monthly gain. But imagine when this catches up and starts to add deflationary pressure, this might be in February. So looking at more of the internals, energy prices fell 4.5% from a month ago, bringing the annual gain down to 7.3%. Gas prices fell 9%, now down 1.5% from a year over year. Food prices make up 14% of CPI, climbed 0.3% in December, bringing the year over year gain to 10.4%. I don't know what that is because so many of the things I look at in the grocery store, they've gone up more than just a little bit. Bottom line, that is the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You make the call 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And now it is my pleasure once again to bring in Kathleen Garrito to chat with us, the interior designer, home stager, the what do we say? How do we put it? The exporter. She left California to go to America. I'm sorry, to Florida. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing out there? Is it nice and cold and rainy in Florida like it is here in Southern California?
You know, a little chilly. It's about 74 today.
That's pretty bad. A little chilly. It's about 74. Well, Josh, don't we have that violin that we had for Kathleen here somewhere? Yeah, the little one. 74 degrees.
Yeah.
And I see that your governor is still fighting with our with Mickey Mouse, so that's all good stuff. So, what part are you in? South Florida? Or are you up north, or where are you at?
Yeah, I'm in South Florida. I'm over by Delray and Boca Raton.
Oh, okay. So you're not are you far from Disney?
Probably 3 hours.
3 hours. Okay, so
not too far.
Not too far. Not like us here, about 15 minutes, but that's a whole different world.
Yeah.
So on Monday, our largest sponsor is Geneva Financial. I'm sorry, Tuesday. It was Monday and Tuesday both. They were our largest sponsors, but I'm going to just throw in here from Monday, and we put out a newsletter every week. And Monday's newsletter, like it is generally the first part of the year, it says one of the headlines was Pantone's 2023 color of the year is Viva Magenta. And Kathleen says,
I'm hearing a little differently, but everybody's got their own opinion of what is hot and what is not. Magenta is a very pretty color. We had the dark hunter green in the past. So
I could just imagine if I went and painted my house Viva Magenta.
That would be, an accent or a powder room, possibly.
Oh, yeah, either that or a bunch of eggs coming from my neighbors, one or the other.
Yeah, it's pretty bold.
Yeah, that would be kind of crazy. So and I used to be in the import-export business. We had to watch the colors of the year, but we had to start watching them earlier because it's kind of hard if they come out and say in January that's the color of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't get our imports in from the Far East that quickly, so we had to look at this stuff early. But what are you seeing as colors that we're going to be looking for this year?
I'm not seeing a ton of colors. I mean, talking about what you just said, how do we know the colors ahead of time instead of chasing them, like you just said, is, I'm always inspired by Italy. And when you look at their home design and fashion, that's usually something that comes out a couple of years out. I'm seeing a lot of maybe a pop of a bold color, whether it's like a gray navy, a gray pink, just something that's soft and not as bold. Or a lot of homes now, we're doing just muted, very natural tones, very, maybe it's a light gray with a dark gray and a cream, just very light colors.
So now that you're over there, you've kind of done some moving around.
Yes.
So I noticed that British accent or Brooklyn accent, one or the other.
Well, it's my old New York accent that has come back.
Okay. So that's because half of New York has moved to Florida because they don't want to deal with the Florida or the New York. We're not going to go down that road.
Right.
But when I'm going back to my import-export days, the popularity kind of started in the New York area. Then it, in the Northeast actually, moved to the West Coast. It skipped the flyover states, and then filled in between the Midwest and the South. Where does Florida fit in? Are they a leading indicator, or are they come down the road, or how does that work?
My take on it, being here a year and a half, as far as the design industry is, it's Florida, bold, Miami, and the one twist that I am excited about bringing here to Florida is toning it down a little bit and bringing my California coastal in, which my clients are loving me, and that's why they're hiring me, is that they love my website, they love the Instagram, they just like that nice soft feel. They want to be able to come into their homes and feel like they're at peace. It's very, it's restful, it's less clutter. We're not doing as much clutter as we did back in the 80s. It's minimal, but minimal with a warmth to it. Not a stark, cold, modern. Does that make sense?
Well, for somebody that has no taste, yes. But so when you were with us last, maybe a couple of visits ago, you were talking about that. It was taking a lifetime to get furniture and accessories and things like that. Is that settled down a little bit, or is it still taking forever?
So that has all settled down. However, I'm starting to see another slowdown in random stuff, but I don't see it in everything. So when I order materials are coming in either right away or, 4 to 6 weeks out. Cabinetry is what's taking a little bit more time. It's probably about 12 weeks out, and that's throughout several cabinet makers here in Florida. But I'm not seeing it as bad as what it was, where we couldn't get sofas for a year or a bedroom set for a year. We're getting things in quicker. But,
we don't have to sit there and sleep on the floor quite as long.
No, you don't. But cost on everything, of course, we know has gone up substantially between furniture, materials.
And are you seeing the same type of delays on the West Coast as well as in Florida? Because I know you're bi-coastal.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing the same. Not really delays. Like when I order things and I fly into California to do an install, nothing holds us up. Everything's in. So
a little better there.
Yeah, it's not as bad.
Great information. We're going to continue our conversation with Kathleen Garrito. We're going to get into a scam in the industry. Maybe we'll talk about that with Kathleen. She's going to give us this input. And if you're listening, protect you. We're also going to get into, is it time to sell your second home, and 3 things you did not know about FHA loans. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you could retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. Let's take a look and see the real-time real estate segment being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Great site there that you can actually find out values of properties. Even there, you can go there and it's free. You just go and put your information. If you want to save your searches, you can put your information in there. You can find out the value of your current property. You could even go right on there, surprise, surprise. And even if you're in California, you can actually find out the value of properties right there where Kathleen is in Boca Raton, Florida. It's on there as well. But let's take a look and see, is it time to sell your second home? During the pandemic, second homes became popular because of the rise in work from home flexibility. That's because owning a second home, especially in the luxury market, allowed those homeowners to spend more time in their favorite places or with different home features. Keep in mind, a luxury home is not only defined by price. In a recent article, Investopedia shares additional factors that push a home into this category. Location, such as a home on the water or a desirable city. Features, the things that make the home itself feel luxurious. A recent report from the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing, ILHM, explains just how much remote work impacted the demand for second and luxury homes. Quote, the unprecedented tenfold increase towards remote work since the pandemic is an historic development that will continue to fuel second home demand for many years to come, unquote. But what if you bought a second home that you no longer use? If you're now shifting back into the office or seeing your priorities and needs change, you may find you're not utilizing your second home as much. If so, it may be time to sell it. And if you own what's considered a luxury home, buyer demand for it may be even greater. In another report, the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing explains, quote, the last few years have left their legacy for the luxury market. While it might only represent a small percentage of the overall real estate market, luxury home ownership influence is growing. Not only has the purchase of homes valued over $1 million, a figure considered by the National Association of Realtors to be a benchmark for luxury, not here in Southern California, rippled from 2.6% to 6.5% since 2018. But demand for multiple luxury properties has soared over the last 2 years. The phenomenal increase has been driven by growing affluent demographic who consider owning a luxury property a necessity in their portfolio. All indications are that this trend is here to stay, albeit that demand is set to return to a moderate, sustainable level, unquote. If you own a luxury second home that is not being used as much anymore, now's the time to sell. There are still buyers in the market who are looking for a home like yours. Let's chat about it. Let's strategize. Let's see what makes sense for you. And if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, can I count on you for that introduction? That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Continuing our conversation with Kathleen Garrito, KG. Tell me the name of the company, Kathleen, so I get it right.
Yes, it's KG Interior Design Inc.
KG, and the website?
Is www.kginteriordesign.com.
Pretty simple. That way even I can remember that.
And Instagram, you can follow us on KG Inspires.
KG Inspires.
Yes.
Nice. So are you seeing, being that you actually deal in a couple of luxury areas, are you seeing people, not using them as much, or are they still using them quite a bit?
As far as what?
Usage, selling, are they getting ready to sell? Are they maybe Airbnb-ing along or short-term rentals? Are you seeing any of that? Or are they just holding on to them and still the growth area in that?
A lot of my clients that I'm working on their properties right now are all moving here. So they're from all over the country. Or a lot of them, it's just their getaway / snowbirds. They'll come down during the winter. Some don't even come down during the winter. They come down when they can have a weekend off. And so we're just remodeling a lot of these places that they just bought.
Did you find many of them were buying them because of work conditions, or are they buying them because they could?
Buying them because they can.
Yeah, that's seems to be the scenario.
Yeah.
I want to chat with you a little bit about a topic. It's a unfortunately, one of the things that we end up doing on Ron Siegel Radio is warning about scams.
Yep.
And I'm glad you brought this to my attention, because there's so many people that, there's so many scammers out there. And when the economy starts tightening up, it seems like the scammers come out of the woodwork.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about what you're seeing with that, because I know you do a lot of construction work and remodeling and directing traffic here.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the rules of things that I should play by if I'm thinking about, I've had some friends that have had big pool installations done, and they gave deposits, and somehow by the time they gave the very last of the money,
yep,
the work stopped.
Yeah, and that's a very big issue right now here in South Florida, even in my development, where they gave them all this money. The business is like thriving for these pool companies, and they're up over their head, and then they're robbing Peter to pay Paul so that they can pay for this project, and they're running out of money. And so what I would say to everybody, regardless if you're doing a new pool or if you're doing any kind of home construction, and you're just going to hire a GC to start off first, which is a general contractor, I would recommend that you get a referral from somebody that you've seen the work from. And then once you get that information, you get their general contractor's license. And if you live in the state of Florida, you can go on the DBPR, which is the Department of Business and Professional Regulations. Or in the state of California, you can go on the CLSB, which is the Contractor State License Board. You can put in their general contractor's license. It has a ton of information, whether there's complaints, if they're actually licensed. It will show how much insurance they carry, if they have employees, or do they just have tradesmen. It will give you a plethora of information so that before you sign a contract, you have a lot of information on that person. Now, some of the scams that we had here in Florida was that the general contractor, acting as a general contractor, he said he was, but what tipped me off was I didn't see a number on his card. So he did not have any kind of contract with the clients. Well, if you don't have a contract between somebody and you go to sue or whatever, there's no information. There's nothing binding.
So he said, she said.
Exactly. So make sure you have a signed contract and you read through that contract on what they're responsible for. My other thing on there is my clients will say, well, we're paying $250,000 for the whole remodel. And I always tell them, hang on a second. What is your cost that they're paying for the materials, meaning countertops, tile for the floor, wood floor, tile for the shower? What is your allotment? And they'll say, I don't see it there. I said, well, then that's not everything that's included. Or they'll say, well, he's allowing me $5 per square foot. $5 per square foot back in the 70s was probably perfect, but in today's world, it's probably 15, 18, 25, or 30 on an average for any type of material. So yeah, he can give you $5 per square foot, but at the same time, you still have out of pocket,
So when you talk about $5 a square foot, are you talking about like flooring, or is that countertops?
It could be tile. It could be tile. Could be backsplash. Also, for the slabs, they might say, "I give you a $1,500 allowance." Most slabs today are over $2,000.
Wow.
So you really have to make sure you get all your ducks in a row before you start the process and sign contracts. That's my total recommendation. That's why a lot of clients hire me. My referral clients hire me, is because I have a plethora and a team that I trust, and I get all that upfront cost for them, so they're not blindsided with any additional cost.
Why would you have an allowance? I mean, my guess is, if I was going out to hire to have a pool done or have a remodel done, I'm going to be going out there and I'm saying, okay, this is what we're looking to do.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if it's an investment property, I get a vote. But if it's my own residence, I get no votes. My wife's going to say, okay, this is the flooring I want. This is the countertop I want. This is the backsplash or whatever.
Right.
And she's going to be real specific about those things.
Correct.
So why would there be an allowance for something instead of saying this is what it costs?
So a lot of general contractors do that. I have a client right now that told the general contractor she doesn't want an allowance. She's going to go do the purchasing. And it just simplifies it and makes it easier. Because then her and I now are pulling together all the pricing. So once I pull the pricing together for her plumbing and all of her materials, and then she's got the GCs total, then she's going to know her upfront cost.
Which makes a lot more sense because as a
It
lender,
does.
if I'm going to lend somebody money on these things, I'm not lending money on a whim.
But 80% of these general contractors will give an allowance.
Wow.
And sometimes people think the allowances are great till they actually start shopping and realize in today's world, those are not standard allowances.
Now, one of the things I've seen recently, and I don't know if this is nationwide or if it's just a California thing, is that the subcontractors, as the homeowner, I'm responsible that the subcontractors get paid even if I pay the general contractor. I think that's the way it is. That the subcontractor, if they don't get paid, they can put a mechanic's lien on the property.
Correct.
So I have to be careful of that too, don't I?
You have to be very careful. That's why I say make sure you know who you're hiring. Don't just, go through word of mouth or because you belong to a church group or an organization and this guy says, hey, Sam's wonderful. That's great that Sam's wonderful, but do some research for him. And my other thing too is if you have an older home, and in a lot of homes in California in older areas,
save that.
There's older homes.
Hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought, Kathleen. We're going to talk about the older home and protecting you by Kathleen Garrito. We're going to talk about that when we come back as well. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Mortgage 101 brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, and it is wrong. Sorry, Josh, I just threw that in there. Throwing curveballs at the engineers and producers is not a smart thing to do, but no one accused me of being too swift. Again, Mortgage 101 brought to you by our friends at CreditSanitizer.com. 3 things you may not know about FHA home loans. Probably heard about an FHA loan, but do you know all the benefits and requirements about getting an FHA home loan? Probably not. And we're going to share 3 things you may not know about FHA. Number 1, fact 1. The FHA is not a mortgage lender. Many people do not realize that FHA is not actually a mortgage lender. In fact, FHA stands for Federal Housing Administration, a government agency within the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The FHA does not make mortgage loans to home buyers. Instead, the FHA provides mortgage insurance to banks, credit unions, and other lenders who provide home loans meeting the FHA requirements. The FHA acts as an insurance company who reimburses lenders for part of their losses if a borrower goes into foreclosure because they don't make the payments. The FHA insurance policy from FHA helps lenders extend credit even when you have a lower credit score and a smaller down payment. Let's look at fact number 2. FHA loans aren't just for first-time home buyers. Again, many people think that FHA loans are only for first-time home buyers, when in fact, both first-time and repeat buyers can finance houses with FHA mortgages. The FHA loan is often thought of as a product for first-time buyers because of its low down payment requirements. But not all repeat buyers have excellent credit or lots of money saved for a down payment on a home. The FHA home loan program is open to them too. You must live in the property, though, to get an FHA loan. It's not for second homes or investment properties. The FHA will insure mortgages for any primary residence. There is no requirement that you must be a first-time buyer to use the FHA loan program. And when I say any primary residence, single families, it's almost any one of them. Condos have to be approved. Let's move on to fact number 3. FHA loans don't have income or geographic limits. Other low down payment mortgage programs have eligibility requirements. Many are limited with those low, very low, or moderate income and are only available to certain groups. The VA loan, for example, allows 100% financing, but you must be an eligible military borrower to use it. The USDA Rural Development Loan also allows 100% financing, but the program requires you to buy in a designated rural area and imposes income limits too. By comparison, anyone can apply for an FHA loan. They aren't just for certain groups, income levels, or zip codes. For most buyers, FHA mortgages require a 3.5% down payment. This makes the FHA mortgage one of the most lenient mortgage types available nationwide. Your down payment money could be a gift from a family member, employer, charitable organization, or government homebuyer program. So if you'd like more information about the FHA home loan program, give us a call, 800-306-1990. We can definitely provide you with answers and help you complete an application to see if you qualify. SLTloanapp.com, SLTloanapp.com will get you that application. And if you have any friends, family, or coworkers that are interested in the FHA loan, have them give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That is Mortgage 101, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Continuing our conversation with Kathleen Garrito, KG Interior Designs, with us, protecting you. A lot of times with when Kathleen comes on, we're talking about things that, are just foreign to me. We're talking about making a house look beautiful or making your condo look beautiful. And, I know mine's beautiful when my wife tells me it's beautiful. So that's my extent of my knowledge here. Uh-huh. And Kathleen's a great, great resource for making mama happy. But today we've been chatting more about, scams and how to keep. Actually, the items that we're talking about today are really, I don't want to. I'm going to get in trouble anyway. So what the heck? They're things that would be more meaningful to me because I generally take care of the numbers. My wife takes care of the beauty, and I'm the beast. I have to take care of the numbers. And boy, would I look like a dumb idiot if I wasn't listening to Kathleen Garrito and paying somebody too much of a deposit, and then they ran out and I didn't get the work done for my wife.
Right.
So before the break, Kathleen, you started talking before I rudely interrupted about older homes and doing some work on older homes.
Yeah. So homes that are like 20 plus years old,
You trying to say that it takes 20 to be old?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Josh, I guess you're old now, according to Kathleen, because I think you're over 20.
Oh, I didn't say that, Josh. But homes in general, especially tract homes that got put up so fast, there are some defects that we find. The biggest thing I tell my clients is make sure you have 5 to 10 to 15% saved on the side for anything that might come up. So examples of things that I see every single day is that we open the walls up and we find out that half the copper pipes are not put in the right way, or they're going to have leaks shortly, and we end up having to repipe. Another issue is here in South Florida, especially, our homes are built from cylinders. Okay, so the concrete block. I had a house, and I put it on Instagram too, where on the bottom of the window, instead of it being all whole cylinder, they took pieces of brick and chopped it up and stuck it in the window. Well, what did we have to do? We had to tear out that window and redo the whole structure. So there's so many things that happen with the way homes have been built, or because they're just so old, we don't see what happens beyond the walls. And
well, you're way out of my league right there. I have no clue what any of that means when you're talking about doing the stuff around the. But maybe I'm going to throw something at you that
sure,
many people like me, Josh might even be in on this one too. You buy a house that's 20 years old or 25 years old.
Yep.
Is there something that I have to really worry about when it comes to, my electric panel or my wiring? Because we've got, in our house, I think we probably got 7 or 8 computers going, and every TV's is connected to the internet. Do I have to watch out for that?
So besides the plumbing, all of the plumbing, I would watch out for the electrical as well. That's always a big factor. It's always the box that runs us a lot of money, rewiring that box. Sometimes the amps, you have, and here I go probably a little high level, but you have the seller of the house added all this stuff illegally, and now the amps aren't enough for the box, the circuit box. So you have to add more. It's just those additional costs when you have a general contractor come in that you have to be ready for. So if you're doing like a $200K remodel, I would have 30 or 40,000 just in case something you're going to need to fix and repair, because the last thing you want to do is put a Band-Aid on it and then remodel your entire home. But upfront costs do happen, and I always like to warn everybody as well.
Yeah, it'd be really, really lovely, because I've had this happen. It would be really lovely. You go and you remodel something, and then all of a sudden one of those copper pipes gets a pinhole in it, and you wouldn't realize how much damage a pinhole can do.
Right. And sometimes it's better just to take another 10 grand and do some PEX. PEX is the plastic plumb that all the builders use, and they seem to have a pretty decent life, although we don't have a lot of history. We don't have 20 years of history using it, but that might be a better bet, so that you don't have the pinhole leaks.
Now, I had one of the leaks, I had a plumber come out and we were just kind of putting a Band-Aid on. He actually put a pipe inside the copper.
Mm-hmm.
Are you seeing that done much?
No.
Okay.
That's probably a Band-Aid.
Yeah, probably was a Band-Aid.
Wouldn't be, something I recommend long-term,
But it is a Band-Aid. So if you're not doing that remodel and you need to get something done quick and inexpensive.
Correct. If you don't have the money, there are certain ways, but just know it's a short-term.
And he was very upfront. He said that, it's going to diminish some of your water pressure, and because you're making it, putting a pipe inside a pipe. So obviously the inside pipe is smaller.
Right.
So you're not getting as much pressure going through there. What are the contingencies that you see that are most often missed?
As far as?
Well, things that I may not know. We talked about, plumbing that, if I'm doing a big remodel, one of the things I think I mentioned to you, and I thought it was fascinating, that I every once in a while my wife likes watching these DIY shows,
right?
Or the flip and flop, or flop and fix, or something like that.
Yes.
And they go in there and they say, okay, we're going to take out a wall and put a bedroom in, or a bathroom or whatever.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they say, oh, we didn't know that we were going to have this problem.
We didn't know we were going to have this problem. We didn't know it was the retaining wall, and we now have to put a beam in there to support the structure. There's so many what ifs. Here's what I recommend, and this is always successful with my clients, is just take your time. Don't be in a rush to do a $40,000 or $100,000 remodel. Take your time, hire the right people, get all your numbers up front so you're not broadsided, and you know that you can stay within budget.
And part of that budget is going to be that 10 to 15% contingency fee for the unknown.
Correct. Yes. Leave yourself some wiggle room, because if your remodel is super tight and you have nothing else to play with, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter if your house is brand new or not brand new. There's going to be something that comes up that they find.
Something's going to come up, and the other part, even if it's not an unknown there, we find a lot of times, I hear this, I'm sure you hear it more, is you say, okay, I'm going to remodel the kitchen, and then, oh yeah, now the dining room doesn't look so good, so now I've got to start doing that one too.
Right. Or they remodel the whole house and they're like, you know what, I'm not going to do new doors, and I'm not going to do new molding around it. So when we get all done, you look at it and it looks like old doors, old molding, and you should have just taken a little bit more to just do it all right.
So you've got an eyesore right there after you did this beautiful job, and it's overshadowed by the eyesore.
And a lot of times, people don't have the monies to do the whole thing. So we always come up with a plan. What is most important to them? What does everybody see? And then we do it in bite size. And some of my clients I work with for 10 years or 5 years. And, we do the kitchen first. And then I know next year we're going to start on this area. And we just do it in bite sizes. So
and by the time you get to the last area, you're going back to the kitchen again.
Not quite yet, but
not quite yet. Great information. I appreciate you coming on with us, Kathleen. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Push me over the limit. I'd like to call him something